What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we are going to be going over none other than BT-10. It had finally dropped in Japan, and I got 3 decks I really want to cover. As you know, it is Japanese Meta Tuesday, so we don't go a week without talking about what's going on in the meta. So let's dive into the video and talk about it. So let's break it down real quick. Obviously, we weren't expecting much of a meta shift. We still have the OTK decks as top decks, but it seems like a lot of the decks kind of started going wide, and that means we have the Shoutmon Crossheart deck, we have the Greymon Blue Flare deck, and we have none other than the great Darkknightmon X antibody list. So these are going to be the 3 decks we're going to be talking about today, and they all took a first place. So again, we'll dive back into these at the end of the meta to see what they've kind of changed up, or even in the middle of the meta, maybe there might be some changes worth talking about. So let's dive into the video for the first week. So first off, we do have pretty much the weirdest deck you'll ever see. Multicolor decks like this don't exist very often, but with your top end being, you know, Shoutmon times 4 with Material Saver. When this Digimon is deleted, you may place 2 of this Digimon's Digivolution cards that are in this Digimon's Digi Xross requirements under one of your tamers in any order. So at least allowing your tamers to be like a hide and go seek factor so that they hide. I wouldn't be surprised if Black War Greymon starts seeing a little more uptick, because being able to pop the tamer that they're hiding all their sources under might really help out. On play the draw 2 and attack, you may place all your Digimon's Digievolution cards under one of your tamers in any order to unsuspend one of your tamers. If you do, delete this Digimon, instantly separating them, putting a hideaway. So it's not bad. It sets up stuff because you get Shoutmon, Ballistamon, Darulmon, and Starmon. So when you play this card, you may place 1 of each of the listed cards from your hand, battle area, as a bottom of Digievolution card, reducing the play cost of this by 2 for each card. So he basically comes in for 1 if you can do the hard play. So that's really menacing because, again, this Shoutmon here really gives it rush, so it can swing the turn it plays, which is massive. But what's really nice about it is reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon card, and 1 tamer with Exo Heart in its traits among them to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order. And it has save. On deletion, you may place this under one of your tamers. So basically, what's this deck's style of play? Well, it's kind of like Rookie Rush all over again. So the deck basically sets up the idea of swing in, put it underneath your tamers, hide them, and then when it comes down to it, if you have Mikey out, Mikey allows you to take the sources requirement by suspending this tamer. When playing one of your Digimon with Exo Cross requirements, by suspending this tamer, you may also place cards from under your tamers into Digievolution sources by Digi-crossing. So he also has a play cost of, you know, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 card with Exo Cross and its traits among them to your hand, and 1 Digimon card with Exo Heart in its traits under this tamer. Return any remaining cards to the bottom of your deck in any order. So he's a great searcher and a great piece as well. What really nice is we also have your ace card is Shoutmon X5. So this one requires Shoutmon, Ballistamon, Dorlula, Starmon, and Sparrowmon. So this has Material Saver 3. So when this Digimon would be destroyed, you can place 3 of this Digievolution sources that are this Digimon's Digi-cross requirement to the bottom of one of your tamers. So he can come in for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. This completely nullifies his full cost. So he can come in for free, security, blocker, the 9 yards. What's really awesome is the King Shoutmon basically says, I fill the Exo Cross requirement kind of by himself in certain requirements. So if you're missing a piece, at least you have the option with King Shoutmon to substitute it in. But also he has Exo Cross himself, one of your Digimon with Exo Cross in his traits. So he can come in for 3, instantly set up and have it. Just, you may return 1 Digimon with Exo Cross requirement from your trash to your owner's hand, And then when you would Digicross this turn, you may treat this Digimon as meeting one of your Exo requirements. While this Digimon has Shoutmon in its name, plus 2000 DP. They all have great inheritables too. They have all Saver, so save. And then when attacking, if this Digimon has Shoutmon in its name, draw a card. Darurumon, Saver, but on play, if you have another Digimon or Tamer with Exo Heart in its traits, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP until the opponent's end of next turn. Really does help minusing. While this Digimon has Shoutmon in its name, all your opponent's security Digimon gets minus 2000 DP, allowing you to swing in very easily, especially against the Yellow Hybrid matchup. Having your opponent's DP negated from their power-up does help out. So we have Ballistamon with save. Also, if you have while you have another Digimon or Tamer, he's a blocker, but he also has piercing, so you can swing into things. We also have Sparrowmon. While this has Heart in its trait, while you have a Tamer with Exo Heart or Twilight in its traits, this Digimon gets plus 3000 DP. And Saver, while this Digimon has Shoutmon or Minervamon in its name, this Digimon gains Reboot. So basically, all these great inheritables under these Shoutmons are nasty. We have Pikmon, who allows us to draw. So when attacking, we also have Hero Strikes. So activating one of these effects, if you have a Digimon with Shoutmon times 5 in its name in play, activate all the effects below instead. One of your Digimon with Exo Hearts gains security +1, and it's a draw 2. So what's really nice is that it adds cards, adds advantage, and if you have 5 out, you're instantly getting an extra security check on top of his. So he's now security checking for 3 at a whopping big number, boy. Dedicated plan to shut off options, especially when you're walking into this meta, you want to shut it off. Crimson Blade is to just clear out 6000 DP, but this also helps so that if there are ways of cheating out Digimon, you can shut them down. Jeremy is in here, so you may play one Ballistamon from your hand from under one of your Tamers without paying its memory cost. And when you play Digimon with Exo Cross in its traits, you may suspend this Tamer, gain a memory. So that's really useful because if he's hidden security, Jeremy can play the Ballistamon out instantly and then suspend himself, which means you get a free body on board and then you gain a memory gain. That's really useful. We talked about Mikey. Heroes in here for the extra power boost because we want to get our level 5s to swing bigger numbers. That's huge. And then we have Angie here. So you may play one Darurumon from your hand or from under one of your Tamers without paying its memory cost. When you play a Digimon with Exo Cross in its traits, you may suspend this Tamer, draw a card. So this is your turn. Double check this. Sorry about the Jeremy issue. I read that wrong. It's only your turn. Never mind. Doesn't work from security. Bad me. So all in all, great deck alone. Next, let's talk about the other best deck I'm going to be excited for, and that's none other than Darkknightmon. So finally, this deck has finally surfaced in a way that is just really scary. Nene is really ridiculous. On play, reveal the top 4 cards you add 1 card with Nightmon, Deadly Axemon in its name, or Twilight in its traits among them to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order. Opponent's turn, all your Digimon with Darkknightmons in their name or Twilight gain blocker, and on deletion, gain 2 memory. So what's really nasty is that even after, let's say, your Darkknightmon is killed, so when this Digimon is deleted, you may return 1 level 4 lower black Digimon card from this card's Digi-Evolution sources to your hand. You may play 1 Skull Nightmon or Deadly Axemon from this Digi-Evolution card without paying its memory cost, instantly allowing blockers to come in, which is nasty, because especially on play, the Digi-Evolution by 1, but he's also Skull, Nightmon, and Deadly Axemon, so when you would play this card, place each one of these listed from your battle area at the bottom of the Digi-Evolution card, reduce the play costs by 2 for each card place. So he comes in for a whopping 4 cost, which isn't bad. We also play Izzy because if this thing is hidden security, and we're all black anyway, so you're betting on black, you're going to get it. So instantly reduces the play cost of himself, and could gain you that 1 extra memory that could help out. Major noticeable cards are that we are playing Toy Agumon. For the fact of the matter is, Reboot is a nasty little thing. Especially if you get it under the right circumstances. You can reboot, restand, and keep face up, especially because Nene gives you blockers. So it's really nasty. Mighty Axe Mode is just another Xross that basically comes in for free. So this, and it's also treated as Skull Knightmon and Deadly Axemon. Reveal 3 cards from your deck. Add 1 card with Knightmon in its name, Deadly Axemon or Nene among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards in trash the remaining cards. Then if you have Xross with 2 materials, delete 1 of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost 4 or less. So just really all in all nasty. Skull Knightmon, you know him. He's just basically cheat himself into either your Darkknightmons here, which even him is just nasty as well, because on play you may place 1 Skull Knightmon or Deadly Axemon from your hand or trash under this Digi-Evolution card in any order. And then when this Digimon is deleted, you may play 1 Skull Knightmon and or Deadly Axemon from the Digi-Evolution card to suspend this without playing its memory cost. Little neat tidbit about this card is that this effect for all turns when this Digimon is deleted activate when Decoy activates. So if you had, let's say, a Decoy card out and this card gets targeted to be destroyed, his effect pulls out the sources out first, and then you could redirect it to a Decoy card. So not a bad trade-off. So just keep that in mind. And then the boss Digimon himself. So Digivolving on top of Darkknightmon for 4 cost. But when Digivolving, return 1 black or purple Digimon card from your hand. 1 card other than Darkknightmon X Antibody from your trash to your hand. And then when this Digimon has Darkknightmon or X Antibody in its Digi-Evolution cards, delete 1 Tamer and unsuspend this Tamer. Unsuspend this Digimon. Then you may play 1 Darkknightmon from your trash without paying its memory cost. He's just there to kill off anything in it that is Xross or any Tamer focused decks. Pride Memory Boost, we know this card really fantastically. Just being able to reveal the top 3, play a Digimon 4 costs. We have so many of these things, especially if you can do Mighty Axe Mode. You get that off, instantly gain that value for it, and then put stuff underneath it. It's not bad. I mean, it's huge. Like I said, on deletion with Nene gains you 2 memory. So even if you had to pop your own Tamer, targeting Nene is not a bad deal, because at least then your X Antibody is now a 3 cost. Not bad. The reason why Dexmon's in here is just because he's a bully and a half. So when you would play this, reduce the play cost by 3 for each of your opponent's Digimon and Tamer in play. Since the game is going wider, you're going to want to have this card. So basically, it's going to come down cheaper and cheaper. And then on play or when Digi-Evolution, all your opponent's Digimon, and then Digi-Evolution 1 by all your opponent's Digimon, and then delete all your opponent's Digimon level 4 or lower. And then end of opponent's turns, delete all your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost, constantly controlling the board, field, and stuff like that. Monotamon is just in here for searching, Chinchurimon's just really in here for the fact of the matter in security. He Digivolves something, so that really does help out. And then we have Pagumon here, so if anything dies, you instantly just gaining some decent value. So all in all, we have Grumblemon to Digivolve on top of our Tamers. We know what Deadly Axemon does to search and give power. Sadly, we didn't get Bargramon, but you know what? I'll take Skull Knightmon any day of the week. Next, we got to talk about it. We have none other than Blue Flare. So this deck, especially since we are going into a wide meta, a lot of interesting techs happen here. So since there's only one really Blue Flare related rookie, so you kind of open up some slots here. So we have Vmon for jamming purposes, Sayoko to stop your opponent can't reduce Digi-Evolution costs, and then Madoki Beta to shut off memory gain. So it's just not bad. You can play any mix and match order in this. The rookie lineup is kind of huge flexible. Bibeatomon is if your opponent has 2 or more Digimon in play, draw 1. Really useful. Since we're in a wide meta, this card becomes more and more useful, because especially since a lot of this is hard played, kind of go wide here. Greymon's here for that searcher, because adding up to 2 Blue Flares in his trait with his on play is really good, and it has save underneath it, so it gets placed under something. And then when attacking, if this Digimon is Blue Flare in his trait, your opponent has 2 or more Digimon in play, unsuspend this Digimon. Really good. Decker Duramon on play, draw 1, and it has on deletion save. While your opponent has 2 or more Digimon in play, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP. DP. We have male Bergermon here, so if you have Christopher in play, you may return 1 Metal Greymon from the trash to your hand. If you don't have a Christopher in play, you may play 1 card from your hand without paying its memory cost. So if you hard play this thing, not bad. It's a fine trade-off. It's a little pricey in my experience, but being able to get a tamer, especially even going first, hard playing male Bergermon and then having a Christopher out might be beneficial. While this card has blue flare in its traits, your opponent has 2 or more Digimon in play. One of your opponent's Digimon cannot attack or block until the end of your opponent's next turn. Being able to stun your opponent's Digimon is huge, since we're no longer in Xross. Kumamon is not bad. You know, just Digivolve on top of your tamer, kind of go for lethal here. Metal Greymon, Material Saver 2. So you get to play the Greymon and male Bergermon out, instantly saving you some resources. And then on play, this Digimon gains Rush, which is really good. Then if you Digicross 3 of your opponent's Digimon with a number of Digi-Evolution cards less than or equal to this Digimon cannot attack or block until the end of opponent's next turn. So this really does make interesting because you can stun and board control is just nasty. And it's not restrictive to no sources, so that really does help out. We got Cyberdramon, so if you have a Digimon with blue flare and its traits in play, by paying 3 memory costs, place this card under that Digimon as a bottom of the Digi-Evolution card, then unsuspend that Digimon. So basically, setup is restand, swing, 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 swing. The blue deck go burr. All turns, while your opponent has 2 or more Digimon in play, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP. And then we got Decker Greymon. This requires Metal Greymon and Deckermon for Digicross 2. This comes in for 5 costs, not bad. On play, and then it does have when Digivolving, but it also has Armor Purge, so that could mean it goes back down, which is really nice. So you may place 1 Digimon card with blue flare in its traits from your hand, and or from under your tamer to the bottom of the Digi-Evolution card. Then, if this Digimon has Deckermon in its Digi-Evolution cards, one of your opponent's Digimon cannot attack or block until the end of opponent's next turn. There is nothing wrong with this because it just shuts down everything. This deck is all about stunning without having the resource removal at all. So you're not wasting resources to try to just stun them. Like when we were doing hybrid, we had to run Tommy. This deck doesn't need it, doesn't care about it. Blazing Memory Boost is delayed, but revealing top 6 card, add 2 cards with blue flares in their traits among them to hand, and then you may play 1 Christopher among them without paying its memory cost. Place the remaining cards in the bottom of the deck in any order. So this card nets you for 3 if you can hit, 2 blue flares and a Christopher. That's huge. For 5 costs is nasty. Hollowing just for stripping sources and more stun interactions. Ice Wall is Ice Wall. Do we really have to go over Ice Wall? We know what it does by now. Christopher is just start memory setter, and then when you would play a Digimon card with Digicross requirements, you may suspend this tamer. If you can also place cards from under your tamers as Digi-Evolution cards when you Digicross. And Sora Joe, start a turn. If your opponent has Digimon with no Digi-Evolution cards in play, gain 2 memory. This is very important because most of these decks kind of just go wide and they set up wide. So you just take advantage of that. So guys, what do you think of the JP list? I'm excited for all 3 of these decks. What are you excited for? Let me know down in the comments and I'll catch you next video. Peace!